So there's a woman who was trying to sue Takeoff for some unwanted touching, or SA, before his untimely passing, right? And now she wants his mother to stand trial for him. So let's go to the Breakfast Club to hear this.
Takeoff. So Takeoff, who was 1/3 of the Migos group, we all know was killed back in November. November of last year, I believe it was. Hasn't it been a year? I think it's been a year now. Yeah, November of last year. But before he passed away, there was a Jane Doe who filed a case that basically said that there were some advancements that were made on her at a party in Encino over in California, and she didn't want the advancements, and it was like a whole thing. Now, when the case was filed, he came out and denied it. But of course, when he passed away, a judge ruled that basically the case would stay until his probate proceedings were over. So basically that means like it sits still until they figure out who's in charge of the estate, where things are going, who would be a spokesperson, all that good stuff. Not good stuff, but all that sorting stuff. So now there was something filed on Tuesday by Jane Doe's lawyer, basically asking for Takeoff's mom to be the person that has to be present in court for Takeoff.
That's ridiculous. That man is not here to defend himself. How can anyone speak on his behalf in a situation like that? What would his mom know about that situation?
I'm not sure.
What would his mom know about that situation?
No, she wouldn't know anything, but unless it was some type of video or some type of beyond proof, this is ridiculous.
What would his mom know about that situation? And think about the trauma his mom has gone through because Takeoff is no longer here. Her son was murdered.
Correct.
And now she's being pulled into this.
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought of, is like this. I know emotionally this doesn't put her in a good place.
Correct.
It just shows you that in this society, like when you have like, especially like women who prosecute like a wealthy man or something for a case as sensitive as this, like most times they don't want the justice of the man going to jail for the atrocities that he's committed. And that's allegedly if he even did it, right? They want the money. And I say that because she would drag his mother into this to stand trial for something as sensitive as this while his mother is already grieving over her son that has passed. That's enough, right? You would think, no, it's not. That's what just shows you a lot of women want the money more than anything else, more than the justice, or it just says a lot about the state of society today.
But so there's going to be a whole hearing.
And I thought this case was dealt with already. I thought we had him up here and he said it was taken care of a long time ago. I could have sworn.
I don't remember.
I thought it was.
I'm not for sure. What I'm reading online, according to My News LA and a few other places that have picked this up, is that it was stayed. So that means that it kind of just sat still until they figured out all of the probate stuff. And now she's asking this. So there is supposed to be an official hearing to substitute the defendant. So, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people who are upset about this. I know I saw like my sonny speak out earlier.
My son.
My son.
What did you just say?
My sonny.
What did you just have called his brother my son?
My sonny.
My sonny?
I didn't call him my sonny. Don't.
That was like
you messed it up
revolutionary
even more.
Muppet character.
You messed it up even more.
She done turned my son into a revolutionary Muppet. My sonny. My sonny was on Sesame Street protesting the injustice that happened to Big Bird.
Well, he spoke out on it earlier. We should have had the audio of him, but he basically was saying that, he takes up for women. When women are wrong, he gets a lot of flack for it. But in this situation, he doesn't feel like this is wrong. Like this shouldn't happen. Like there's a mom on the other side of this.
I just think bringing the mom into it is ridiculous.
But I have a question for you guys, though.
Go ahead.
So, for instance, right, with Michael Jackson and that stuff that happened, people were still suing his estate and coming out against the estate after he passed away. Isn't that this is a really messed up situation on both sides, but isn't that a normal thing for a celebrity when they pass away?
I think the Michael Jackson thing is a little bit different only because Michael did have to defend a lot of this stuff while he was alive. The reason I thought the Michael Jackson stuff was ridiculous is because he beat it when he was alive. When he was alive, they proved that he didn't do any of this stuff. The FBI followed this man for 17 years.
But that's what I was saying, even with this case. Unless there's video, there's no way to prove because you're only getting one side. You won't be able to get the other side, and his mom wasn't there. So unless there's videotape or some type of footage, there's no way.
But let's be honest, Envy, in this day and age, the Me Too age, they don't really care about the other side. They care about the side of the woman that is making the accusation. And they usually assume that the male is guilty right away.
I thought them pursuing Michael Jackson was ridiculous too. Especially being that he went through all of this when he was alive.
They did it up until last year. They I forget the guys' names, but they won something.
Did they?
I believe they did.
I don't remember them winning nothing now.
I'm gonna look it up, but I believe I remember when it came down.
Because if somebody sues, they're gonna sue you, and if you pass away, they're gonna sue your estate. But like I said, unless it's evidence.
What is his mom supposed to say?
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I was like. What is his mom supposed to say in this situation?
I don't know, but I
Like,
just
come on, man.
I would hate to be the person on either side of this situation, especially a mom. You're dealing with your baby being taken away. Now you gotta, yeah. It's just, yeah. Well, that's all.
And so I don't know if you can kind of hear it in the voice of the young woman. She says she sympathizes with both sides of this coin, which I do believe she does. But don't it seem that Charlamagne and DJ Envy is a little more outraged for the mother? Like, what does the mother have to, you know what I'm saying? Which leads me to believe that this young lady really sympathizes with the woman who's making the accusation, right? And it makes me wonder why. You know what I'm saying? Because in this day and age, it's like so many women just blindly assume the guilt of men automatically in the court of public opinion, and unfortunately in the court system. And then men have to prove their innocence when the burden of proof should be on the accuser. But it's never that way. Michael Irvin got set down from his job. He didn't get another job till he had to go to Skip to get brought back on TV for that whole accusation of him talking to a woman for 40 seconds and her saying that something inappropriate happened. Melissa Ford throwing made up allegations out there about Mace and Cameron, when in actuality Cameron and Mace were 16 when they were in that brothel. They were the minors who grown women were having sex with, and yet still no sympathy for them. Yet still she continues to type and say what, you know what I'm saying? Like, act like they're guilty. Now, I'm not saying that we know if the young lady her accusations is false or if it's true or not. But what I am saying is, why don't women more care about keeping this from happening again? Which means, why don't, when most times these things happen, most women who make the accusations go after civil prosecution, meaning they want money, instead of going after criminal prosecution, which means, hey, lock this person up to stop them from doing it again, right? You would think that they would, if they were so about protection of women, that they would want to protect more women from going through this. But it's always civil cases that seem to be brought. And you would think in this case, if there had been some touching, what most folks say, if somebody touched somebody in your family or whatever, most families want to lay hands on that person. They want to put hands and stomp them out and do all of that. But there may be the barrier of the police and trying to get caught and, you know, all of that. So they go about it through the courts. We want to prosecute or whatever, put him in jail. But most people, if they could, they would put hands on them and have them leave here if possible. We've all heard this. You know what I'm saying? They'll get you up out of there if they can. In this case, not due to anyone that she knows hand, but unfortunately, he passed on. You would think that's the ultimate justice. Not so. Still not happy, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, has to be money too. But that just shows you the state of today's world. But I think it's like I've said, I don't mind that women that have been through something, I don't mind them being able to prosecute criminally and civilly, put a person in jail and get some money out of it. But I don't mind this if it's true. And it's so hard to weed out what's true and what's not when the law is making it so readily available for women to make these reckless accusations. And most times these women get settlements without having the burden of proof because they're allowed to bring cases from 10, 20, 30 years ago with no proof. Who's going to remember what happened at a bar 25 years ago as a witness or The camera system don't even work the same no more 25 years ago. You can't even, you know what I'm saying? Where is that? It's gone. So I'm just saying, I don't know what happened with this young lady and with Takeoff. But usually I try to give things a little time to see what comes out, to see what sounds right and what doesn't. But ladies, I'm just gonna say a lot of times this is why men don't be believing y'all, because y'all allow so many fakes and imposters to jump in on this Me Too train and attach their name to stuff, and you know it smells funny. You know the story doesn't pass the smell test and it seems false, but in the effort of womanhood, y'all ride with it and support them anyway. And then men are left to kind of fend for their lives being dismantled over accusations. And usually, like I say, it's no recourse when women are found out that they're lying. They don't have to face no jail time, no none of, you know what I'm saying? And usually, if they don't prove anything, they're usually rewarded with a settlement just to get it over with. You know, some type of settlement, so however many thousands. But I'm just sad to see that this lady is trying to, whether her story is true or not, I'm sad to see that she's trying to bring his mother into it, because what would she know about the situation? If you want to sue the state or try to prosecute the state or talk to the lawyers or however you want to figure that out, okay. But to make his mother, bring his mother into this to try to get, like, I don't like that, because she has nothing to offer to knowing what happened or what didn't happen. But this your boy P Camp. Let me know what you think, what you gonna think. Get at your boy.